It's about to be 2025, and a lot of the vehicles that we consider reliable that you can keep for a long time are 20 plus years old. They're getting older, they have miles, parts are getting harder to find, all this stuff's going on, and guess what? All the new stuff is junk. It's just built so cheaply. Even if you get into a $100,000 Yukon, you go touch on the dash, it's going to feel like Legos. It's going to crackle and pop, and it's just like, what? You're in a $100,000 Yukon. Nothing's built good, and everything's just built out of plastic, and it's been like that going on, more and more plastic now for the last 20 years, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And now you even have the engines that are affected with the 1.3 liter turbos and all this stuff. Nothing like that could last forever. And it's funny because we really don't know how bad these cars are going to be in the long run. A 2022, 23, even a 2020, I mean, some high miles, but there's very few, and we don't know how long it's going to do. And this plastic, it can only last so long. A lot of these manifolds, a lot of this stuff is built out of plastic, even around the engine bay, and that stuff is just going to obviously have a whole bunch of issues. And then you just have reliability issues out the wazoo with basically every single manufacturer. Even with the reliable naturally aspirated engine, guess what they added on there to make it unreliable? Start-stop technology, D-cylinder activation. So they made it unreliable because they had to, let's say, keep up with the government regulations or all this other stuff. But it's quite unfortunate because it's making these vehicles less reliable, and there's really no other option. And even older vehicles, even a 2000 Tahoe, it still can be hard to find some parts. You see these auto parts stores going out of business, if you haven't seen that, like 700 plus stores. It's pretty crazy. And it's because obviously a lot of people are shopping online, and if you can get it cheaper online, and some people are willing to just wait the time and all that stuff, and a lot of people are, I hate to say this, but they're going to dealerships and getting screwed over. It's a bad situation. And you guys know the last place you should go to get a car serviced out of warranty is the dealership. That's for sure. Find a good mechanic if you don't know what you're doing, but hey, don't go to the dealership. They will try to screw you over left and right 15 ways from Sunday. It's pretty sad. But at the end of the day, there really is no option. You have the older cars getting older. Every single day, there's less of them becoming available. You have wrecks. You have all this stuff going on, so there's less of them available. I mean, you guys know, like an older 2500 Silverado HD, those things are solid. I'm talking like a 2005, 1995. Those things are solid. You just don't get that anymore, and it's quite unfortunate. It's really sad. And even with, like, let's say a Chevy Malibu, you know, they come with the 1.5 turbo or whatever. It's just so unreliable, so many different issues, wastegate issues, this and that. It's going to be issue after issue. And these vehicles used to be reliable back in the day when they had naturally aspirated engines. But now they don't. And now they have CVTs and all this stuff. And CVTs, I mean, if you talk to any mechanic, they would agree that it's not a smart idea for long-term longevity. Yeah, it might be more efficient to get a little bit better fuel economy, but if you're wanting to keep your car for a long time, Scotty Kilmer, I mean, any mechanic would agree CVTs are not a good idea. So it is what it is, and that's where these car manufacturers are going, because they don't want you to keep your car forever. They want you to buy a new one. They literally just want you to keep buying new cars, and it's smart for them, and they're going to keep getting their paychecks. You have the CEO. I mean, Stellantis, the CEO, what did he make? $40+ million last year. So the CEOs, General Motors, $30 million. I mean, these people are going to keep getting their huge paychecks and keep cars very expensive. They don't want to build reliable vehicles. So of course they don't want you to keep your vehicles for a long time. They want you to keep buying new vehicle after new vehicle. It makes sense for their business side. That's all they want you to do, these car manufacturers, and the CEOs that work there are going to keep getting their huge raises, $40-50 million raises, and a lot of them are destroying these car companies, I think, with the new vehicles they're coming out with. So it's really unfortunate, and some of the new vehicles that we've seen with some miles have had a lot of issues. That's what we're saying. And just generally speaking, from a mechanic mindset, when you have turbos on really small displacement engines that are really high pressure and have a lot of heat, that's going to cause a problem. And you have CVTs. This is all problems, generally speaking. And then some people like to say, even Toyota has a CVT, which is true, which is probably going to cause more problems, but it's not even a normal CVT. It does have a first gear, and then it clicks over to CVT, but still a lot more complicated. Seems like a lot more issues. It's just like common sense, guys. And it's funny because there's some people that say, I prefer a CVT. I prefer a 1.3 turbo because I get better fuel economy. But hey, you don't even get better fuel economy. That's the crazy part. You can get a newer vehicle and your older truck is getting better than the newer truck because they added a turbo, and yeah, it can in certain ideal conditions. As soon as you push on that gas, trust me, you are going to lose any sort of fuel economy benefit you got because that turbo is going to spoil up. It is what it is, and it's just common sense. And it's funny how these manufacturers, it's just hilarious. But we'll see how this stuff ends up doing. But at the end of the day, I just think we're kind of screwed as a consumer. It's getting harder to find the super reliable, awesome vehicles because there's less of them out there. They're getting wrecks. They're getting higher miles. Newer cars are just junk, generally speaking, with most manufacturers and most models they offer, and they're just completely overpriced. So you have all this stuff going on, and then you have issues with parts too. I mean, everything's going up on that end with everything. So it's a bad situation for the auto industry, but it's just quite unfortunate on the new car end because everything is built to the cheapest standards possible, in my opinion. Instead of paying the CEO $50 million, maybe pay him 10. Let's use the other $40 million on producing a little bit higher quality vehicles because some of these manufacturers are putting out complete garbage. Let me know what you think. Have a great day and stay blessed.